So what up, y'all? This is my old bedroom from when I was a young boy, a teenager. So when I was a little boy, I always had my own room, but when I was a little boy, I used to sleep in the room next door. But then when I became a teenager, I moved into this room, and this was like my shit. Like I used to have. At one point, I had like these two bunk beds in here. Now, when I first got this room, I had this big bed. It was like a queen size bed, and it sat right here up against this this window. This is the window. It's snowing outside, but that's the window. It sat up against the window, and then I got rid of that bed because it had these springs. It was my brother's bed that he left. That joint was crazy because it had springs poking me. It was a nice sized bed, so I like the bed was big for when I was a young boy, but it was poking me, so I had to get rid of it. And then I got these two beds. They was bunk beds. They was like my mom's aunts, her cousins. When they were young, they were their beds. So they brought them over here. So I had a bed here and a bed here. So I had two beds in this room. It was just me in here. But I had two beds in this bitch, right? So then eventually I got rid of the other one. Then I had just the one bed that was here. And then when I was young boy, sometimes my mom would let me have girl company in my room. So I'd be up here acting a little nonsensical with my hand up shirts and shit like that. I was a virgin until I was 19, y'all. But when I was a young boy, I used to be doing all kinds of. But yeah. But I remember I used to have all these posters. There was this bookstore up in the mall, up Cheltenham. We used to have this mall called Cheltenham Mall. I used to walk up to the mall, me and my boys, and I would get posters. And I had posters of Michael Jordan, the Chicago Bulls. That shit used to be all over the walls were covered with posters in this room, y'all. When I was a young boy, I had a couple joints on the ceiling. I had posters of TLC because I was in love with Chili when I was a young boy. Like, you couldn't tell me she wasn't my wife when I was a young dude. So, but yeah, this just reminds me of when I was a kid, man. I used to have so much fun being here, and my mom used to be on my ass. She downstairs now. My mom still has this house. She's had this house for 50 years. But she used to be on my ass when she'd come up in here and like scream at me to get up to go to school. I used to never want to get the fuck out of bed. Lazy as hell. Hold on. I think that's my mom calling me now. Hold on. Yes, mom. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, that was my mom. Uh but yeah, and I don't know. I just came here and wanted to shoot in the room because it's like a where it all started moment. Like I came of age from adolescent to a young man in this room. Like I spent years in this room. A lot of my life, teenage life, that sculpted what I was going to do in my 20s. All decisions was made here, man. All kinds of y'all hooked up to the closet. I remember one time. Me and my boys would be in this bitch all the time, cutting up. Sometimes we have girls over here. So this one particular time, it was me and my boy Marcus, and we had these two girls in here. My mom came home, and I could always get the drop because my mom would come. She would park in the back in the driveway, so we would hear her when she pulled up. And I remember we all ran up here and we hid in this closet. It was like she came in. She had to leave back out to go pick up my sister, but she came in and she was here for like 20 minutes and we was in this closet. But she even came in the room. I remember she came in the room. I don't know how the fuck she didn't hear us in that closet. It was four of us stuffed in that low ass closet. And she came in this bitch. She came in my room, got the phone, made a phone call, and she left. And we never got caught. I'll show her this video. But I think I might have told her about that. But it was just little shit like that to show me how far I've come, like from being a young kid to now being a grown man that had been through all kinds of shit. And it's like a repeat cycle of like all the things that I was going through when I was a kid. There were challenges, there were things that were difficult to deal with, but you find a way to make it through that shit. So it's like coming back home is like a full circle moment to be like, damn, bro, you've really made it far. It's people that I grew up with that still live in this neighborhood. And not knocking them, you know what I mean? It is what it is, but I think about how blessed I am because of that. Because it's like, yo, I've been all over the world. I've been a million places. Even if I was there in 2016, I still went. Pow pow. You gotta take shots at people sometimes because they just love talking shit. But it is what it is. But yeah, I remember I used to have all the throwback jerseys. I lived here till I was what, 23, 22 or 23. Because I got that job with the city when I was 20. Yeah, I think I moved to that apartment, that first apartment up Shellham Avenue. That was what? Yeah, I was like 23, I think, 22 or 23. And it was actually after I left the city. I actually quit my job and moved out. So when I worked, I stayed here. I used to spend my money on Jordans all the time. That's why I knew I was leaving that job all them years ago because I remember my checks used to be like $500-600 every 2 weeks, and I worked for the city. I was like, I'm gonna blow this money tonight. Like this is never gonna work for me. I'll be broke for the rest of my life, fucking around with a job like this. But yeah, I was living here in this house and would get on the bus and get on the train, go downtown every single day from this room. I would get myself together from this house, living with my mom. So it's cool to be back. A lot of good energy here. Yeah, and yeah, that's it, y'all. Nothing too much about this. Just wanted to go down memory lane. I think this is my sister's high school tassels, just at 2016, and even might be her college joint. And what are these? Oh no, no, that's not my sister's. I think that's my niece's. There's a couple people there. My niece lived here with my mom for a little bit, so she had this room. But yeah, this was my room. This was my room. Yeah, so it's like the calm before the storm. Like I already see the mumbling and all that type of shit. People talking, people, whether it's for good for bad. I realize that it's not a lot of quiet time that I'm going to be able to enjoy as much as I've have over the last 4 years. Last 4 years have been humbling, but they've been quiet. I'll say that. Like it's been such an isolation that now I'm looking back in it and it's like, damn, it was really quiet though. You didn't really deal with a lot of chaos. My life has always been chaos because of, the life I choose to lead. It's very chaotic energy that you deal with. I was in the music industry for years. Now I ran a business for years. It's always people. So now I'm going back into the space of people. Even though the grade of people is different this time around, it's still people. You still got to understand the cues and energy and how to manage all that type of stuff. But I was built for it. You know what I mean? Can't nothing break me. I decided to survive in fire. So I was telling somebody the other day about how I get in the cold tub now that don't even feel cold. So I was homeless at one point. I had to be outside in the cold, sleeping on the ground in the cold. So yeah, that do something to you. That's why none of the fuck shit that they say can affect me. But yeah. So yep, this is home. I'm gonna take my mama trash out, then I'm gonna take my ass home. No, I think I'm gonna go skating tonight, y'all. I'm gonna get that. Well, that's supposed to be the plan, but it's snowing, so I don't know if that'll work out. Because my barber is actually somebody that I skate with. We supposed to go. He gonna cut my hair. So I ain't had a haircut since before I went to DC. So it's time to get chopped up. Although I know I'm fly and handsome, even with no haircut. It's not on me. It's in me. That's why y'all can't break it. And y'all know who y'all are. Y'all know who I'm talking to, especially you and you. Not love y'all though. But yeah, that's the King signing out. Wayne University, Waynesworld.shop. Y'all know I gotta get a shameless plug. The shameless plug because the hoodies is selling. I'm rocking my Louis Vuitton today. Why? Because I like Louis Vuitton. I've always been fly. That's why people say, "What made you want to start selling clothes?" And it's like, "Cause I'm fly. Why wouldn't I sell clothes? Like, I'm like one of the flyest people I know. Like, and I'm fly on the low. So, Waynesworld.shop. That fuck your couch jigger tee. Go cop that. But yeah, y'all, I'm about to go back downstairs, watch the rest of this game. I'm get myself together. And like last time, I'll see y'all next time. Peace.